Hey, look, have you ever wanted to have the talk with your spouse or a talk with your spouse, but just felt that you simply can't? So instead, you just kind of bury the conversation, drop the topic, or either you kind of magically wish they can read your mind.
They cannot.
Well, that's you. We're going to offer you some tips and some strategies to help you overcome those things.
Couples Pursuit.
Hello, this is Vincent.
And Valerie.
Woodard. And on this episode of Couples Pursuit Live,
we're going to talk about rebuilding communication.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Hey, look, just like you can't build a house without a foundation, or you shouldn't build a house without a foundation, so shouldn't you start a marriage off with bad communication skills or continue in that with those? Because communication is like the brick and mortar in a relationship.
Yeah. It's the bones. You know, they say the bones of a house. It is the foundation. It is the foundation, because without it, everything else can go lacking.
That's true. That's true.
Romance can only take you so far. You know, intimacy can only take you so far. Money can only satisfy certain needs, wants, and desires. But when it comes to matters of the heart, people want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be understood. They want to be respected. And they want to be, to feel seen and important to you. And if communication is lacking, then it's difficult. I can say that they're not going to feel.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Look, we're so glad to have you here. Our goal here on Couples Pursuit is to provide you with the tools and strategies to help you to pursue and maintain a happy and successful marriage. And look, it can start with one person and you can affect your whole household.
Yes.
And it will be such beneficial if you be able to share this with somebody that you know, maybe that's going through something like a communication breakdown is what we're calling this. Or if that's you, I advise you just to lean in. We're going to talk about, we offer an effective communication masterclass, and it's totally free. I really urge you to check it out. I will leave a link below. But when you do, we're going to give you a free download. And man, there's some, I believe some good stuff. So it blessed me when we were putting it together. I hope y'all can see this. This is the Guide to Effective Communication. And it's a free download. We're going to just talk about some of the topics here. We can't go into it because it's a lot, but it's such good foundational things. And I believe it'll benefit your marriage so much. So, when the communication breaks down, baby.
Well, it's kind of like being stuck on the side of the road, you know? It is, for a long time, our communication was broken.
Yes.
It was flawed. It was ineffective. It was abrupt. It was sporadic. Sometimes it was volatile. Sometimes it was I won't say non-existent. Sometimes it was nonverbal. And we suffered because of it.
Yes.
And there are times in relationships which is why courtship is so important instead of just dating. There are times in relationships where people gloss over the issues that they're having while they're pursuing one another in the courtship, during the dating phase. And they kind of sweep those things under the rug and they never deal with them. Sometimes people rush into things and they never get to see how their spouse handles anger or resentment or bitterness or sadness or loss or grieving. You don't get to experience all of those things before you get into a relationship. And then once we're in it, what happens is, though we've gotten into it so that we can come together and be closer, we often retreat to our own corners when things don't go our way. And so what I'm saying in a nutshell is communication may never have been established in the first place.
Yes.
And healthy communication may not have been established at all.
So if it wasn't healthy communication, so definitely effective communication.
Effective
was
communication
non-existent.
is healthy. So if it wasn't healthy, then yeah, it wasn't effective. And sometimes people come to an impasse. Things might happen in the marriage. There could be infidelity or loss or sickness, and the way that people deal with that may affect the other person, and there's been a breach in that communication. And there could be like the loss of a child. Two parents grieve in completely different ways. The way one grieves may appear as if they don't care, to the other person, when really they're just trying to deal in their own way. And if you haven't learned how to communicate in the good times, when the bad times come, it's really going to fall apart. And then you have to make the choice. Do we continue to prop up this relationship? Do we just let the foundation be broken and the house shift and the floor shifts and the ball rolls, down the hill when you how you check out a house, and one way to check to see if the foundation is level is you drop something and see if it rolls in one direction or the other.
Yeah.
Do we continue to do that and just act like
it'll be all right?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll just walk around it. Do you patch the holes? You put paper in the broken glass.
Like that
newspaper
analogy I listed before. The foundation is cracked, so we know it's cracked.
Right.
And we hope it'll get better over time.
Yeah, you just hope it will. But if no one repairs it, it will not get better. And not only will it not get better, it will often get worse. And so then we get to the point of where we may have to build communication, and then sometimes we have to rebuild communication. So
many marriages in this guide that we're referencing. Many marriages list one of the issues that when it comes to a divorce, some of the lawyers that when I did a study, it was talked about citing differences. What's that word, baby?
Irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, and that's basically where we had a issue and we could not agree on a way to overcome it. We could not have a conversation. We could not figure out a plan together.
We couldn't come to an agreement.
Yeah, and so that's like one of the first topics is what is communication. It's learning how to avoid that situation. It's being able to commune, being able to work together, to be able to say, hey, we have a issue, we have a problem, and what can we do about this problem?
So what is communication?
So communication in the book, in the guide we listed as is exchange of information between two or more people for the purpose of understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the dictionary term. To use it in our way.
Yeah.
It's first of all, it's the participation in exchanging of information together. It's not just I'm talking or you're talking, but it's us exchanging. You have something you have to say. You want to discuss. I have something I want to discuss. So let's exchange it.
Right.
For the purpose of understanding. I want to know what you have to say at the matter. I'm interested.
Yeah, understanding is much different from hearing. I heard what you said. Yeah, you heard what I said, but did you hear what I said? Did you listen to what I said? Did you see what was behind what I said? Do you care what's behind what I said? Because what will happen oftentimes, there's a saying, men will say when a woman gets quiet, you're in trouble. Or a woman will say, when I stop talking, that's a problem. Because generally we are trying to communicate to you, I don't really like that. I'm not happy with that. That makes me uncomfortable. And sometimes we send mixed signals and saying, I'm okay when we're not really okay.
Exactly.
We want you to understand We want you to know, to sense, to know me enough to pay attention to what moves me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I believe a lot of disagreements we could have headed off early on is just being able to listen attentively, actively.
Yes.
Listening and pay attention, not listening to, okay, well,
Respond.
I want to argue that point, Judge, Sir. I want to question the witness. You talking about your wife? No, I want to get this right, my point, my way.
I'm the defense attorney in my own case.
We spent so much time, just trying to talk and I'm not listening. We're just arguing, and then we're arguing about how to argue, and we're not communicating anymore. We done went way past that. We're at the point of we were
talking
to
be heard and not to hear.
Yeah.
We're communicating so that we can be heard. I want, I feel, I need, you did this, you did that, I don't like, blah, blah, blah. Instead of coming to a place where if I say I'm hurting, then I say I'm hurting. I don't just express my hurt to you in anger. I don't just express hurt as silence or frustration or sarcasm or withholding affection. That I actually have enough maturity and vulnerability and trust that I can be vulnerable with you. That I say, listen, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I wanted to ask because the way you spoke to me is not usually the way you speak to me. And I didn't like that.
Yeah, and that's another one of the things we talk about in the guide is actually checking in on one another.
Yeah.
It seems like it's so simple. Why do we not do that in a relationship? It's like we're so busy thinking about our day. I had to go to work. I got to home. We got to pick up the kids. I got to do this. I have to do this. I have to, clean the gutter out. I have to,
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm asleep. I'm going to bed. Good night. Oh, what about you? I was here too.
Right.
We don't check in on one another. It's so simple, but I think a lot of couples kind of overlook that because we're so busy just trying to make it through the day.
We take on the responsibility, especially when you have two working spouses, and then you introduce children into the equation. And I say two working spouses, that could be the wife working at home or the husband working at home or the mom being a full-time mother or the father being a full-time mother or both being out, working in blue collar or white collar work or building a business. Lord help if they're entrepreneurs. Because that's a whole nother set of circumstances. But we become engulfed in what it is that we're doing, and we forget to check in with one another. And so then when conflict arises, if we're not careful, because of the level of stress or pressure that each of us are feeling, we may check one another. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Whoa, okay.
But we don't check in on one another. Instead of going deeper and saying, hey, what's that?
Yeah.
What's going on? Now, what's wrong with you? You tripping. I'm tired. I worked 48 hours this week and so and so and so. And, me, my.
Yeah. And that leads us to another one of the guys. Like I said, we're just kind of touching on, just giving you the table of contents.
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much.
But I really urge you to check out the Effective Communication Masterclass. It's so awesome. Another one is facing issues head on. So that issue, what you were saying is like, wow, you seem like you had something else under. When you said good night, whoa, wait a minute, there's something going on. We need to, can we talk about that? Let's not avoid it. Well, she's going to be all right.
Instead of then taking my brick of defense, of offense, and putting it on top of your brick of defense and building this wall. with one another.
Yeah.
Because if I choose, first of all, offense is a choice. I can choose, he was snappy.
Yeah.
Or, he normally kisses me goodnight and he didn't. Something must be going on. Automatically jumping to conclusions. Find out what's going on with your mate. Can I talk to you in the first place?
Yeah.
Right? Can I exchange information with you for the purpose of understanding? And if there's an issue, do I care enough about you and our relationship to come to you and check in before there's a problem?
Exactly.
And then especially if there's a problem.
Yeah. And like you said, offense is a choice. Defense is the same thing. And we get defensive so easily. I could have been a defensive coordinator, because I had plays for her. I'm thinking attacks on me. So she had showed her conversation. Can we talk? Oh, she gonna run a play. Oh, she gonna attack me. Okay, so for this play right here, I'm gonna play the stonewall, and then I'm gonna play the defensiveness, aggressive. Then I had
flag on the field.
Yeah, then she said something. Flag on the field. That's just, you can call it timeout.
Timeout. Yeah. Okay.
And you know what? Some great piece of advice if that's you or that's your spouse, a great piece of advice that I've got is the best way for this marriage to win, we both win, is to take the defense off the field. Take it out of play.
Yeah.
Just let's not be so defensive. Let's not be defensive at all. Just because your spouse has something they want to share with you or want to say to you or they want to speak to you about, it's not an attack. And I'm just really preaching to myself because I know this was me for so long. It's like, wow, it's you want to talk to me? What did I do?
Here she come complaining again. Because sometimes there's a need for, in the check-ins, there's a need for a redirect.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to get a course correction and say, I know we've been doing things this way, but I didn't say anything before because I guess I really didn't feel confident enough or secure enough to say it, or I wasn't sure, or I didn't want to offend you, but this is not really working for me. So can we try something different? What else could we do that could get us to the goal that we want to reach without, doing it this way? Because this makes me uncomfortable.
Exactly. And when you're having that conversation, you deal with that topic.
Yeah.
Let's not, you always do. Every time we get together, every time here we go again. What were we talking about again?
So then, not only do we have to face the issues head on, we have to deal with the subject at hand. So when I come to you and I want to talk to you about, babe, I thought you were gonna, fix the sink in the bathroom. It's leaking, and this past 2 months the water bill has been much higher. Well, I said I was going to get to it, and how come every time, and how about you didn't fix me that when I told you I wanted, and going all into what you didn't do? It's like, hold on a second. I didn't come to attack you. I came to address an issue. So rather than me neck popping and smacking my lips and waving my finger and or ignoring you or avoiding you or being passive aggressive about things, I'm gonna tell you, I really need you to fix the sink. Now if you're not gonna do it, let me know that. Do we need to hire somebody to do that? Because we do need it to be fixed.
It needs to be fixed. The water bill is sky high, and who wants to live in a house where it's something that can be done? We both have, one of us has the ability to do it, if not the both of us.
Right.
But we just don't want to do it because what? Because somebody asked you to do it, or your pride, or she's telling me to do it, like she ain't my mama.
And I was just gonna ask you, what would have been your response, the old you, had I come to you and said, it's been 2 months and I asked you to fix the sink?
I don't really know about our issues with that.
Well, I kind of used to fix stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to say
I was the person with the toolbox. Yeah. Because I wanted it that way. But it used to be that way about yard work. My husband does not like yard work.
I'm allergic to it.
He did not grow up with a yard. He did not cut grass. He does not like to be in the heat. And he used to have really bad allergies. So when we got a home, that was the last thing he wanted to do. Doesn't mean he wouldn't do it. But it was not something that he wanted to do. And then when I had ideas about how beautifully I wanted the yard to be done, it was like, no, I don't want to be bothered. And he resolved that issue. I mean, we had some fights about it first, but he resolved that issue by saying, you know what? I ain't cut out for this. I could do it, but I really don't want to. What I
won't do it with love. It wouldn't be done with love.
It wouldn't be done with love. It'd be a little attitudinal. Okay, while he was doing it. I made up that attitudinal.
Write that down.
But what I will do is I will find someone to do it, and I will have it done regularly.
Yeah.
So that when people come over, we don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z.
High over the grass.
Right? But me coming to him and saying I wanted the yard done wasn't like, what he heard was, you are a terrible keeper of our home. Why don't you do what should be done?
And that's the communication breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, you're communicating. You're wanting to say, let's resolve this issue. And mine was, why she telling me what to do. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going.
And I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
so.
you know.
Now I'm going to be mad because you reminded me.
When you talk to your spouse and they get an attitude about something like the yard work or the car needs fixed. My car's making this noise and I told you last week and so now I'm just not going to say nothing again, and then it breaks down. Now we got a $200 bill that turned into a $2,000 bill. You know, it's those issues when communication breaks down. What do you do?
Yeah.
How do you go about it? And that's why we offer the masterclass and this guide right here that helps you dealing with those things. Another topic that's on this guide is with listening goes a long way. And it just talks about the active listening part. So now I'm just not listening to okay, I hear a complaint. You filed your complaint. And
no taking. Now let me tell you a thing or two about yourself.
No, I'm listening. Wow, yeah, she's right. Actually, you know, the car wasn't making a noise.
And you did tell me 2 months ago.
Yeah,
I should have done it. But instead of us saying, you know what, babe, you're right. It slipped my mind, or you know, it's really not my favorite thing to do, and I've really just been putting it off, but I know that it needs to be done. Why is it that we can be close to one another? We can be intimate with one another, physically, emotionally, or physically rather. But then when it comes to being intimate in our conversation, in our exchange with one another, which is really where intimacy starts. For women, mostly it starts with a conversation. It starts with that getting to know one another. How is it that we become so easily offended by our spouse when they need to tell us something that needs to be done? It's the equivalent of me walking around like we're sitting here now doing this recording, and we know that we're recording, or if it were live, and I have, you know, something in my teeth. And I'm just talking and laughing and smiling, and we're just, you know.
Yeah.
And he never tells me, babe, you got something in your teeth. Yeah.
I should be, if anybody should tell you.
Why? Why wouldn't you tell me that?
Exactly.
You know, so why do we become offended? Anyway, let's go back and recap. So far, we've talked about, we're talking about rebuilding communication, but we really wanted to break down what is communication and the elements of communication and what goes into having good and effective communication.
Yeah, what are we rebuilding? What are we rebuilding to?
Yeah. Do you have this foundation? And what we've discussed so far is what is communication, the effective transfer of information between two people for the purpose of understanding. And when you have good communication, you check in with one another. You face your issues head on. You deal with the subject at hand. You make sure that you listen and not just talk. And when I say listen with everything.
Yeah.
Don't listen with your phone in your hand. Don't listen while you're swiping. Don't listen while you're texting. Don't listen while you're watching TV. Some conversations can be had that way. But sometimes you need to put it down and look at one another.
Yeah.
sometimes we need to just pay attention.
Yeah.
What am I saying? What are you saying to your spouse if they're talking to you? I use this analogy again. If you go up to the counter and somebody is supposed to be waiting on you, you walk up to them, they never look at you, and they just swipe beep, 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 $5.69. Never look at you, take your bag.
That's
You'd be
one of my
mad.
pet peeves. Oh,
I don't
my
like
goodness.
that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That person doesn't mean anything to you, right? But you feel a way.
And they act like you don't mean anything to them.
And they act like you don't mean anything to them. But you feel a certain way if they don't give you, this is your job.
Yeah.
You're paid to come and stand here and be cordial and kind and professional at least.
Yeah.
To be cordial and professional at least. And you can't do that.
Exactly.
We expect that from strangers. Why shouldn't we expect that from our spouse?
I know, and we actually agreed to that we're going to do that for better, for worse.
Yes, to love and to cherish, to honor one another. It is dishonorable when you don't consider your spouse, when you don't listen to them, when you don't hear them, when you're not vulnerable to them, when they can't be vulnerable to you without repercussion.
Yeah. And when that happens, once again, we're talking about rebuilding communication, what to do when it breaks down in your marriage. When you have a communication breakdown. So, wife listed how far we came so far, and our time is running out. But another one I want to get to is just like you said, catch miscommunications early.
Yeah, don't let it go. Don't sweep it under the rug.
Man, since we started this journey, I'm always writing stuff down. I keep it in my digital notepad. One of the things that I've written down, I think we had a guest, I forgot which one it was, but it said that we actually don't ask for clarification enough. Like, okay, hold on, let me get this right. You're saying blah 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 blah. No,
that's not what I meant.
Exactly.
And then you can have that conversation, and then you can bypass being angry. You can bypass being mad. You can bypass ignoring one another so that you don't avoid sharing the details of your day, so that you don't avoid the responsibilities that you have to one another, to your family, to your children, so that you don't introduce that dysfunction, an ineffective way of communicating to them as well.
Yeah. So that's so good. That is so good.
Yeah.
And we have some more topics. We break that down into 3 other ways to improve that quality of communication. But we talked about practice active listening, but it deserves to be repeated again to practice active listening. Like, when you and your spouse are having a conversation, and you can start with, in every conversation. Well, I can say start with every conversation. You should try to incorporate it in every conversation, not just the ones major. We're talking about bills. We're talking about, school fund. We're talking not just those things, the house, the car. I'm talking about, baby, what do you think about these shoes? What do you think about my outfit? I don't understand. I don't really like this shirt on me. It's fine. Okay,
Look at me. You don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah.
How you gonna send me? I'm representing you. How you gonna send me out the house looking any kind of way?
Yeah. It's an activity. It's something that I'm engaging in.
Right.
And so I'm listening, active listening. We talk about it in another video. I'll link to that.
Yeah.
But we actually talks about how you're listening with your eyes, with your ears, with your body language, actively listening.
Right, not passively listening. Yeah, I heard you. And you mentioned before 3 ways to improve the quality of your communication. Something that can go a long way in rebuilding communication. If you don't have it, make sure that you speak to your spouse in a way that promotes safety. That they feel safe sharing with you. That promotes honor, that they don't feel disrespected or dishonored when you're talking to them. Integrity, that you're honest and truthful, and that they can trust you. All these things will increase the quality of your communication. If communication is broken, this is a great place to start, is to be mindful of how you speak to your spouse. that you speak to your spouse, but also how you speak to your spouse.
Exactly. Be mindful of nonverbal communication, of your nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, active listening. You're listening with your eyes, your body, your ears. So be mindful of what you're not giving. Are you not doing those things? Did you ever look at her when she was telling you about her day? Did you ever turn your body towards her and say, baby,
do you sigh and roll your eyes?
Here we go again.
Do you check out? And if you don't show if you think you don't show any physical sign, what's going on in your mind when they're talking to you? Are you going, oh Lord, here she go again? Because even though, or he goes again, even though they may not see that, they may sense that. I don't have your full attention.
Yeah.
And then when that person draws back from communicating with you, you're like, well, I was listening, I was paying attention, but were you really? Were you really? And now that I don't want to share with you, you don't ask me why.
Oh yeah, now I got a problem with that.
You're relieved because now you don't have to listen to me, but you don't know what happens in the background is tearing down the structure of our communication.
Exactly. And the last one, we can't even go down this wormhole right here, but I'm just going to give it to you because I really want you to go get this guide right here and just manage your emotions.
Ooh wee.
Okay.
Check yourself.
Check yourself. So
check yourself.
The free masterclass. Look, we offer that. It's free. We filmed it. And it's the conversation that we will have. We have 30 minutes of your time to be able to talk to you or your spouse about the issue of communicating more effectively. It's a great resource, and we give this guide free, also as a free download. So it's something that you can have on your phone and have it with you wherever you go, wherever you're sitting around and you're like, I want to work on my marriage. I really want my marriage to be better. I really want to learn how to, is it me? I know some things about him, but I got to check myself. So this is a great thing, and I just hope you take advantage of it. And we just thank you so much for tuning in. We see all our friends and with some new people, some family. We appreciate y'all so much for joining us here on Couples Pursuit Live.
Yes.
And look, share the word with someone. Tell someone. If you're watching the replay, please like it. Whatever emotion you want to give us, hearted, all that good stuff. If you watch this on YouTube, we post it on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And also our radio show. Hey, look, call in. We have our website is couplespursuit.com. To get to the Effective Masterclass, Effective Communication Masterclass, you go to couplespursuit.com/communication. It's simple. It's that, and that take you straight there. You can watch the video, and you can also download this free resource.
And then not only that, if you or your spouse are in a position where you need to have coaching or counseling or mentoring, marriage mentorship. If you're single, separated, married, or divorced, this is for everyone because either you've gone through it, you're going through it, or you might go through it, right? And so why not have all the tools that you need? We also offer a consultation, a free first 30-minute consultation with us if you need that assistance as well.
And that's awesome. It's also on our website, couplespursuit.com. And you go there and get in contact with us. And man, we'd be so happy to talk with you, and just to help you to live the life that you and have the marriage that you desire, that you want.
A marriage that thrives and not just survives, because we've been together.
That's a preach right there. That will preach.
We've been together almost 25 years, married almost 22. And for a lot of the time we were married, we were just surviving. We were patching the holes and the foundation was cracked and all these different things until we just came to the end of ourselves and figured out, we need some help. And we're on this journey here together, this couple. So we also, we're going to open up, sooner or later to actually show couples how to work together. If you desire to have a business together, it's like, man, I always want to work with my spouse. Well, we can't get past this. We can't get past that. Well, I'm trying to tell you, we was in the same boat. We have God has done a great work in us, and so we're here. There was a hole in the boat. Yep.
We can show you, and we're gonna, work on the resources to be able to help you, work together, start that business, start that dream, live your purpose in this world, in this life.
Your purpose individually and your purpose as a couple. God desires for us to fulfill both, and we leave our legacy, on the table when we don't. So we want to thank you for joining us again tonight. Go check out the website couplespursuit.com /communication.
That's right.
Or just check out the .com, see what's there, share this video, like and subscribe to the YouTube page. If you have questions or comments or anything, we always go back and look for those, and we will answer your questions. We thank you again so much for being with us tonight. And until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you, and give you peace. We'll see you next time on Couples Pursuit Live. Bye.